Alright, quick update on FITFI. So today a lot of these altcoins have taken a hit with Bitcoin. In fact, some of the altcoins are actually holding up better than Bitcoin at this moment in time, and I really have to emphasize this is on a 1-day time frame. FITFI is up 1.38% while Bitcoin is down 12.7%, meaning that FITFI outperformed Bitcoin by about 13% today. Now, a lot of people are getting out of bed. A lot of people are getting very, very excited. The Bitcoin dominance has been going up in a straight line for like 2 months now, and people are throwing themselves out of bed to buy the dip after we've had a 2-day dump on the Bitcoin dominance. While the Bitcoin dominance is still above major areas of support like the daily EMA ribbons, I do personally not recommend entering any altcoin positions whatsoever. There's a couple of reasons why. The chart structure on the 4-hourly time frame for FITFI is still super bearish, and I remember the last time we came into the let's go over to, yeah, you can see if I remove this now, you can see the last time we came into the 4-hourly time frame, we had a shoulder, head, shoulder. This was a head and shoulders, and believe it, people were getting out of bed, people were screaming when FITFI pumped up to 11 cent, getting ready to FOMO in. It made a head and shoulders, broke down, went to lower prices. The rest is history. What was the last time before that we ended up coming into the 4-hourly EMA ribbons? Well, what you'll notice is another shoulder, head, shoulder, massive head and shoulders. Once again, 2 head and shoulders back to back, coming into the EMA ribbons, and a massive breakdown. When was the last time that we came into them before that? Well, we had a shoulder, head, shoulder into the EMA ribbons and broke down. Now, we kind of came into them here. We didn't even come into them on the, on the candles. We only literally came into them for the wicks, so I wasn't mentioning this. But, nonetheless, we bear flagged into them in this instance, if you do want to consider that. Now, I could go on and on and on. We could go through the last 100 times this has happened. Shoulder, head, shoulder, shoulder, head, shoulder. Every single time before, we formed basically a head and shoulders, or on the one-off occasion we formed a bear flag, and then we started to break to the downside. Let's head over to the 1-hourly time frame. What is FITFI doing at this moment in time? Well, what you'll notice is we have a beautiful shoulder, head, shoulder. And at this moment in time, yes, we could go higher. I'm really not saying this is the guarantee, this is what's going to be playing out. But based on previous trends, this is normally what we do before we see one last capitulation back down to the downside. So the price to beat for FITFI is still to get above these EMA ribbons. And if we draw our fib from our low to our high, or from our high to our low rather, because we want to see what the price to beat on the 786 is. Let me make sure I've got it. Yeah, this was drawn to the right area. I just need to move it up a tiny bit. There we go. So what you'll notice is your 618 fib is almost perfectly coming into around about halfway through the 4-hourly EMA ribbons, and let's say hypothetically, within the next day we might come up to some of these levels, because it does look like we are pushing up, and a lot of people are getting out of bed while the Bitcoin dominance is moving down. So I really would not be surprised if we do see a momentary bounce over on the altcoins. Does this mean that at this moment in time I am going to be focusing on longing the bounce? Absolutely not. I would not be buying altcoins until the Bitcoin dominance has had its macro top. In my opinion, we have literally just started a massive breakout over on the Bitcoin dominance. I could be completely wrong. I do not have a crystal ball. However, this has been my game plan for the past month and a half, 2 months or so now, and I haven't been buying altcoins, and because of that, I've been getting massively cheaper prices. So if I am wrong and we do break out, sure, you can start looking at buying some altcoins. That is not my trading plan, and there's more reasons to it than that. The next FOMC meeting is within basically the next 2 days. This is coming on to the 15th of June. I know a lot of people have probably turned off because, FITFI, altcoin users, they may not care about the greater markets. That's completely fine. But the fact of the matter is, if the next Fed meeting comes and the Chicago Mercantile Exchange is predicting 100% likelihood of another interest rate hike, if we do see another interest rate hike like we did on the 4th of May, and if you go back into the charts, you can really see what happened over on the 4th of May. If we come back, basically a little bit before that, 4th of May, massive capitulation. So I really don't recommend buying altcoins at this moment in time. The last time we had an FOMC meeting, we basically got rugged to hell. And at this moment in time, I'm finding it very, very likely that the Fed is going to increase the interest rates once again. So if you are getting out of bed, make sure you're only out of bed for the next 2 days, because when the FOMC comes knocking on the door, if you've got your pants down and you're all in on altcoins, they're going to kick down the door and smack you in the face, and you're not going to be prepared for the move to the downside. Once again, do not get caught with your pants down when the FOMC meeting comes. If the Bitcoin dominance starts moving up into the next FOMC meeting, Bitcoin is basically going to 1-2 Mayweather, freeform McGregor, FITFI to hell. So that is personally my opinion on what is going on with FITFI at this moment in time. Once again, you've got a couple of price targets to beat, and really no one should be even remotely getting out of bed until we at least start putting in 4 hourly and daily candle body closes above 6.3 cent, which is the short-term moving average on the 4 hourly time frame. Bear in mind, people are getting out of bed and we haven't even come up to the first moving average on the lower time frame. So take that with a grain of salt. Even if we come over to the 1 hourly time frame, we still have not flipped the EMA ribbons as bullish. So be super, super cautious. Am I saying that FITFI cannot pump? No, I'm not saying that at all. In fact, FITFI has been crashing like crazy for the past couple of months. So I would not be surprised if FITFI can have a move back up to some of these higher levels, like the EMA ribbons round about 7.7 cent at the top here. If we do come above these, let's say hypothetically, come up to the top, hit the EMA ribbons, come down, hit the 618 at 7.3 cent, and then we start to head up, then sure, I mean, at least you can start talking about the chances of a trend reversal at that point. For me to even be remotely bullish for a scenario like that, it would need to be after the FOMC meeting. The Fed will have had to not increase the interest rates. And by the way, if you don't keep up with this and you want a channel to kind of keep up with this for you, make sure to head over to my channel, because I will be covering the FOMC meetings every time I do see them. I cover a range of altcoins and Bitcoin on my channel, so make sure to hit that sub button if you do like the content. As always, I do still think that we are unfortunately going to break down. In the last video, we were predicting a 39% drop in the macro term. We did start to come down. In fact, we came down about 18.5%, but as of the time of recording this, we've bounced pretty heavy and we're only down 2% since I did make this prediction. But like I said, this is my macro price target to come all the way down here. And bear in mind, I have to emphasize the word macro because, anything can happen in the next 2 days. Yes, we can come up to 7.7 cent, but the fact of the matter is, most of these crypto markets have just broken extremely, extremely bearish. If we come over to the total 2 and head over to the weekly time frame, you can see, the total 2 has massively capitulated below at 618, and in my opinion, we're really only seeing a dead cat bounce from the 786 Fibonacci. So really, really be cautious if you are trading these altcoins. We are still going down. The weekly candle is still red. It is only Monday, and tons of the price, or tons and tons of money has been wiped out the altcoin market only on a Monday. So I think it's too early to FOMO in. I think it's too early to expect a bottom. And the beauty of this is the trend is your friend until the end. And at some point, the trend is going to reverse on us. But we have been sitting on the sidelines for FITFI since about 58 cent. So let's say hypothetically we break above 11 cent. Boo-hoo, we get from when we sold somewhere up here. If we come up above 11 cent, we get an 80% discount because the Cowboy family has literally been sitting on the sidelines for 6 weeks now. With that being said, that is all I've got for you today. I really find it hard to believe that FITFI would be breaking above 7.7 cent. If we are going to pump up to this level, we are going to do it before the Fed meeting. I will be very, very confident to call these short-term moves after the Fed meeting. Until the Fed meeting, it is basically open season. Yes, we can go up, we can go down, we can go sideways, but the macro trajectory is still for us to come down to 3.7. That is all I've got for you at this period in time. I hope you did enjoy today's content. I would also like to wrap off saying that yes, once again, we did have a bounce today, but this is tiny volume compared to the run of bearish engulfing candles we've been seeing in the past couple of weeks. The daily squeeze bump is still massively capitulating to the downside in favor of the bears. So in my opinion, it's not time to buy alts, but yep, that's just my subjective opinion. As always, Cowboy out. Peace.